Okay, Shalom. Alright? We're the prophets of Yahawah, Hasham, Yahawashi. And we got to start by saying, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Wakah, Kodash. Right. We give double honors to the elder apostles of Rainbow Storm that taught us this truth in the spirit and inspiration of Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi. And we give salutations to all the Arkim out there that are in this truth and sincerity and the continued diligence, man. Yeah, man. Where you see the signs, man. You see what's going on in the world. You see the Most High. The scriptures say in Isaiah chapter 13 that the Most High mustereth the host of the battle, man. So the Most High is mustering the spirit of the world in upheaval. You see how there's riots, protesters, you know what I'm saying? People, outcry of the people, of the injustice of the governments around the world, man. You see all this taking place. You see all kind of biblical plagues that the Most High is bringing upon the world, man. Okay, these are times we're living in. Pestilences. Somebody get that. Matthew 24, verse 3, man. Okay? It's right, man.
Luke 21 and 11.
Someone give me Mark 24 first.
Mark?
No, Matthew.
Yeah, I've got that.
No.
From verse 3.
Yeah.
So this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
Right, because Yahawashi spoke unto them many things in parables. Okay, he spoke plainly and he also spoke in parables, dark sentences. But the one thing that the disciples wanted to know was when was going to be the establishment of the kingdom of Israel, man. When is it going to be our time to rule? Because for so long a time, there's just been captivity after captivity after captivity, man. Slavery, the wearisome toil of the stock of Jacob, man. Okay? That we've been experiencing as a people. So we want to know, when is it going to be the restoration of Israel? That's in the book of Acts, the first chapter. The disciples wanted to know. Okay? So it says right there, the disciples inquired of Yahawashi and said, okay, when is going to be the end be and the sign of that coming? Because they knew that Yahawashi would come again a second time. Okay? That he would have to die for the sins of the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Be received up into to the Father, okay, and then come again a second time and save the remnant according to the prophet, the law and the prophets. He would come a second time and deliver his elect from the four corners. So the disciples are like, so when's this time gonna be? You know, fuck these Romans. Excuse my language. Okay, when are we gonna get up out of here? When is we gonna be restored? When are we gonna stop paying taxes and all of this? What's gonna be the sign of thy coming? Read that part again.
This is verse 3. And he sat upon Mount Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
And at the end of the world. And it said that the Mount of Olives. What is the olives? What comes out of olives? Olive oil. The mount of wisdom and understanding, man. You know what I'm saying? So that when you go down, he's basically revealing to them the understanding of those times, the sign of his coming. Alright? So that's kind of spiritual. He sat up on the Mount of Olives, man. You know, the olives represent wisdom and understanding. He tells you that in Proverbs, man. Okay? He's that. Bless you, Howard.
Yeah, he said
Beautiful, man.
time.
You know, the disciples are like, yeah, who's this guy? But that was Yahawashi.
He even like it, don't he?
Yeah, the Most High.
Yeah. Shalom.
Yeah, shalom. Good to see you, bro. Shalom. Yahawashi.
That's spiritual as well. Another garden around Mount Olives was the Garden of Gethsemane. And when you get into that, it means oil press, man.
Really?
Yeah, it means oil press. And here in verse 3, we're talking about the disciples asking, look, man, when we going to stop having to do all these things, man? Because it presses your spirit, man.
Right.
It makes you feel depressed, man. Like when you squash a grape or olive and that juice comes out, that's when Yahawah's spirit was pressed. He was in the Garden of Gethsemane, which means oil press, man.
Right.
You know, so this whole system is just pressing our spirits, man. So as the disciples are saying, look, man, when you going to come back and take us out of this devastating situation?
Right. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Okay? Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Like, for example, here it is, you know, we had the whole coronavirus pandemic, you know, so-called, because we all know it's really a diversion. Okay, there was no, it wasn't bad, like how they say, it wasn't even no virus, man. Okay, it was some diversion to cover up the fact what they really wanted to do, which is to bring about quarantining, you know what I'm saying,
Yes, brother.
preparing people for quarantining,
Yes, man,
and to
good
really
seeing.
to damage the economy. All right, that's what they really want to do. And since they've been saying, you know, just recently that they want to lift up the lockdown, and you know, people can gather in bunches of six, and you know, they're starting to open up certain stores, certain major organizations or companies. I started to get depressed, man. I started to get pressed in the spirit. I was like, I was happy with the quarantining. I was happy with the whole shit. I was like, yeah, man, this is, you know, a break. Everybody, the animals are getting a break. The air's getting a break. You know what I'm saying? We're all getting that break. And when they said, oh, everything might slowly start to reopen again, I was like, oh my days. You know what I'm saying? Back to fucking phase 1 again. You know what I mean? So, as the scripture says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. We want to know the sign of the Lord's coming in the end of this world. Because it said, because the script, I just want to bring out a precept, going into, because it said he sat on Mount Olives. This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20. There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. Right. And we, as a people, we're described in the scriptures as being the olive tree.
That's
Okay,
in Romans 11.
because you got other trees in the garden of Eden. You know, you got the fir tree, the box tree. These other nations, they resemble these other trees. You got the you know, the willow tree. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But we're the olive tree. So it's so symbolic that when he's broke it down about the different signs that we should be looking for at the end of this time, this world, he was sitting on the mountain of olives, because that represents the wise. There's oil to be found in what the wise. So he gave them the wisdom on what we should be looking for. All right. So read that again. That first.
Yeah, so this is Matthew 24, verse 3. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives.
Right.
The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world?
Right. So it tells you in Amos 3 and 7. In fact, somebody get that, Amos 3 and verse 7. All right, because the Lord is about to break down these secrets to him. Go ahead.
This is Amos 3 and 7. Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets.
So the disciples, they were being disciplined in the secrets of the Most High. Okay, the Yahawashi was giving them the secrets, man. Give me a second, Ezra 14. Okay, because everybody don't know the secrets of the times. They don't believe. That's why you can see them walking around. Even in this day and age, people are still walking around like, you know what I mean? Things are gonna go back to normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, people still don't want to consider that this is the end, man. Okay, go ahead. Start
Second,
from verse 1.
second Ezra 14, verse 1. And it came to pass upon the third day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me, and said, Ezra, Ezra. And I said, here am I, O Lord. And I stood upon my feet. When he said unto me in the bush, I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses,
Right, I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, go ahead.
and talked with him when my people served in Egypt.
And talked with him when my people served in Egypt, go ahead.
And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt.
And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt, go ahead.
and brought him up to the Mount of Sinai,
And brought him up to the Mount of Sinai. Go ahead.
where I held him by me a long season.
And held him by me a long season, 40 days and 40 nights. Go ahead.
And I told him many wondrous things and showed him the secrets of the times.
Showed him many wondrous things and showed him the secrets of the times, man. Okay. So go ahead.
And the end, and commanded him, saying,
And the end. So Moses saw the end 3,500 plus years ago, man. He saw the times that we're in right now. He saw a miracle. He saw the nuclear destruction. He saw Babylon, Assyria, Medo-Persia. He saw Greece. He saw the so-called white man, Esau, in power. He saw the ancient pagan Roman Empire. He saw the different, he saw us sitting in power in the Holy Roman Empire. The Byzantine Empire. You know what I'm saying? He saw all the different wars. He saw all these things going on. Okay? He saw Jake coming down from power during like the 1300s onwards. Okay? Esau conquering and taking different strongholds in Europe. He saw America, man. He saw the transatlantic slave trade. He saw the cargo slave boats, man. He saw the lynchings. He saw all of these things. He saw the end. He even saw the kingdom, man. Okay? So continue reading.
and commanded him, saying, verse 6, these words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide.
Right, so the Most High commanded Esdras and said, these words shall you declare, and these are some of the things you're going to have to hide, man. Because I don't want the multitude of Israel knowing all these things. The only thing I want you to show Israel is the laws and commandments, okay, the curses and the blessings, and that's it. Okay? He didn't show him there's times and times in the end. He didn't show none of that. Okay? So let's go back.
So this is back in
But the whole point why I brought it out is the Most High showed certain men the secrets. Just like how he's showing the disciples right now. Go ahead.
Matthew 24 and 4, or 3 again, and it says, and he sat upon Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world?
And at the end of the world, the word is eon, which means a rulership or an age. Okay, because the earth is always going to be here. Alright? The earth is always going to be here. Most High created this place to be inhabited. Alright? So no meteor is going to come down from outer space and make the whole world spontaneously combust. Alright? It's just going to be a translation from one of rulership from one people to the next. Alright? That's what happens. Go ahead.
Verse 4, and Yahawashi answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and of rumors of wars.
So first it said there's going to be a lot of people claiming that they're the anointed ones, man. That they're the leaders of Israel. That they're the messiahs, man. That all Israel should follow. Like this guy, Grandmaster J, the NFA's No Fucking Around Coalition. He's got the character, he's got the file, but he doesn't even, he's not coming in the name of Yahawah or his son Yahawashi, man. Okay? You got other people that's coming that's claiming to be leaders of Israel. But the leaders of Israel is really us, man. Alright? They were the prophets, there's men that hearken to us. Go ahead.
And it says, verse 4, and Yahawashi answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many.
Right.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, man. Okay? And that's the times we're coming in right now. You got situations between Israel and Syria, Russia. If any brothers know about that, talk about that. Because I wouldn't be.
Yeah. So basically what happened was there was a situation that occurred where Israel struck one of some bases of Russia and Syria.
Right.
So meanwhile, what we have going on is we have this distraction, such as this, George Floyd situation, and then we have this COVID thing. But meanwhile, we're in the age of war. Like we're pending. Basically, we're in a situation. The world is in a situation. I'm not gonna say we, because we ain't involved in that. But the world is in a situation where war is pretty much at the door, not around the door, but at the door, so to speak. And there's things that are going on behind the scenes that the media's not talking about concerning that situation. So that's pretty much all I got to say on that.
Yeah. So the Most High, and you have to understand the Most High is doing these things. The Most High is doing these things. When you go to the prophet Isaiah, chapter 13, it says that the Lord of hosts, he's the one mustering the course of the battle, man. So here it is, Yahawashi said that we shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Whereas it's the Most High that's bringing these signs. You understand? If I get that, get Isaiah 13. So it's the Most High that's showing these signs. The Lord was giving them the indicator saying, yo, these are the things that our Father in heaven is going to bring upon the world to show you the time that I will come to save you. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Start from verse 1.
Isaiah 13:1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see. Verse 2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exhort the voice unto them. Shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Right, first it said, this is the burden of the word. So this word is a burden, man. Okay? The prophet saw many great and terrible things. A lot of them became sick. It troubled their emotions, their thoughts. A lot of them became sick. Okay? Depressed, lonely, because when you know a certain level of information and you know that all the other rest of the people, they're not on the same level as you, man. They can't understand, they can't deal with that level of info. You become like a recluse, man. You become like solitary. Because all these things is kind of rattling your emotions. You know there's no point in participating in the times because you know that these times are going to end, man. That's why it was a burden.
I have commanded my sanctified ones, and I have also called my mighty ones from my anger.
Yeah, so read on to verse 2.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exhort the voice unto them. Shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Right, go ahead.
I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones from my anger.
Right, so the Most High has called his spirits. Alright? Those are his sanctified ones for my anger. When you go into the book of Ecclesiastes, it says the Most High created spirits for vengeance. So the Most High has called his mighty ones, his sanctified ones, for his anger. When you go into the book of Revelations, it shows you that there's certain spirits that the Most High has created to the four winds of heaven to unleash the four winds. And those winds are going to bring that destroying wind, that nuclear destruction, man. So certain spirits, the Most High has designated them to bring about this nuclear destruction. Okay? Go ahead.
Even them that rejoice in my highness. On to verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people.
Right.
A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations. Gather together. The Lord Yahawah, the Lord power of hosts, master of the hosts of the battle.
Stop and read that again.
The noise of a multitude in the mountains.
The noise of a multitude in the mountains, go ahead.
Like as of a great people.
Like as of a great people, go ahead.
A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together.
A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms preparing for battle, man. So, right, go ahead.
The Lord of hosts, master of the hosts of the battle.
The Lord of hosts, master of the hosts of the battle. See, I told you, the Most High is putting the spirit upon the nations, man, to gather them for war, man. Okay? In this present day and time, we're seeing it. Go to the news and look what's going on, man. War is brewing. War is taking place, man. The global world leaders are commanding their armies to go to war with other nations, man. Right now, as we just read in Matthew 24, it says, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Are we not seeing that now? Isn't there all kind of people walking around claiming themselves to be leaders? You've got the Roman Catholic Church, Jehovah Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventists, man. Satan's Day Adventists, exactly. All these spirits, man. You got Farrakhan, Grandmaster Jay, Dr. Umar. All kinds of church leaders, man, claiming themselves to be the anointed ones, and they're all false, man. They're all false prophets. Even Edomites claiming themselves to be anointed ones. How the hell can you have a holy Edomite? An anointed Edomite, man? That's not in the scriptures. No, you got fake, you got false church leaders among Jake, man, causing them to go off. The scriptures speak about there being false prophets, man. In Jeremiah 23, I believe, that caused my people to go astray. You know what I'm saying? Making them catch the Holy Ghost or the devil, man. That's the devil, man. Speaking in tongues and shit. That's Satan, man. That's not Hebrew. The holy, that's not holy about that. You can't interpret that. You know what I mean? So, what's it? Anointed, be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying that they are anointed, and rumors of wars. We're hearing that. Read on.
This is Isaiah 13 and 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahawah, and the weapons of his indignation.
Did you hear that? They said they come from a far country, okay? From the other end of heaven, even Yahawah, and the weapons of his indignation, man. They come from a far country. What do we read in Esdras? I believe it's is it 13 or no 16? It goes they come from one end. The arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss.
Yeah.
Okay, when they be shot from. I got them. Go and read that.
This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow.
Right.
His arrows that he shooteth are sharp,
right,
and shall not miss. When they begin to be shot in the ends of the world.
To the ends of the world. Where they say it came from a far country. Yeah. Even from what they say, it says far country.
They come from a far country. Isaiah 13 and 5. They come from a far country. From the end of heaven.
From the end of heaven. Yeah. See how the scriptures match up? Where
even the Lord Yahawah and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
To destroy the whole land, man. You know what I'm saying? That's war. That's war. And weapons in war, what do people hold? They hold weapons, man. Okay? But these weapons are so destructive that the whole land itself will be devoured, man. You're talking about on land, what do you have? You have grass, you have pigeons, you have birds, trees, buildings, people, fences, you know what I'm saying? Cars, construction sites, and the whole thing will be destroyed, man, with these weapons. Showing you that we're living in times of technology, where man's devices has been used for war, man.
That's the scripture that says every war is fought, I'm paraphrasing, every war is fought with the confused noise, but this shall be of fuel and burning fire.
Man. You see that? All side of the scriptures is riddled with the word fire. Fire, man.
Have you seen the same scriptures there, and they're not going to miss their rank?
No,
that means they're going to, everything's going to be precise. You know what I mean? No missing, no interception of the missiles. They're going to hit their point.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Right. Because the scriptures, you have to understand the word nuclear missile. You're not going to find the word nuclear missile in the Bible, because the Bible was written long before nuclear missiles were even invented, man. in the times of our ancestors, the ancient prophets, when they visualized the nuclear missiles, there was no term as nuclear missile. There was no term as America, the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? So they described it the best way they could. They described it as being horsemen, okay, arrows, the glittering spear, sword, right? Weapons of indignation. Go ahead.
I got more on verse 16. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty arch and returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again.
Yeah, so these are all plagues going again. Yeah.
Verse 17, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death.
Sorrows and great mournings, man. In mourning. You see everyone mourning over this guy, George Floyd. You have some Edomite, who was the mayor of that state of Minneapolis, crying at his funeral. Some Edomite getting down and pretending to cry and shit. I sent it to you guys, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got everyone mourning over, you got Pete, there's a time of mourning and sorrow, mainly among Jake, man. Okay? Alright, go ahead.
The beginning of famine and great death.
Right, famine. Because I read an article where they said that the famine that's basically going around right now is of biblical scale, man. Okay, you got people looting stores in South Africa, Venezuela. All right, because of this whole coronavirus thing, everyone had to stay indoors. So you know what I'm saying. No one could really work in these farms and shit, man. No one could really produce food. Okay, so because no one could produce food, there was like a lack of exports. No one was exporting goods. They have keeping all their food in their own countries. So therefore, a lot of countries wasn't receiving any food imports, man. All right. So there was a lack of food. You know, they were rationing food at these supermarkets. Okay. I think you go at one time you could go to a store, you can only buy like two products, two of each product, man. So rationing out the food. I heard say it's because they were running out of food. That's why they were rationing it all out, man. Okay. Go ahead.
The beginning of wars and powers, and the powers shall stand in fear.
So read Proverbs.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death.
Right.
The beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
What's this helicopter, man?
Yeah, you need
There
it.
for
Yeah, I'm up. Yeah, let me just hold one. Let me just hold
Where's
one.
it's right there.
It's right with us, yeah.
It's been scoping us when we first came in, me, Ramya and yeah. From the other park he was scoping us and followed us there.
There's jamming right there like a bee, like a wasp.
Won't stay forever though, can it?
And that's a spirit because it says the great powers they shall stand in fear.
That is true. That's true.
Yeah, do I know?
They're standing in fear, boy. They're like, who are these terrorists? Because we're living in a time where, you know, there's anarchy and craziness, man. So they're trying to keep a watchful eye on any type of suspicious movements.
Yeah.
Can I say something, brother? I got a funny, weird call a minute ago. Yeah? Somebody says that, hello, who am I? And what is his number? He's asking me, what is your number? Why? You know, because they could detect anything with a phone.
That's a spirit.
Location.
They can do that, yeah.
So they could be tracking my location up there. You just don't know.
Yeah, because the thing with London is the most surveillance area of the world. So if we're in a park somewhere, wherever we at, they can look at you.
Weird
But we're not gonna do anything.
That's right.
They already know who we are. They should know who we are. We're the Israelites. We don't do anything.
Yeah.
So if anything, what they need to do, they need to be watching people that's protesting.
Yeah.
Because all we are just regular guys.
Yeah.
With Bibles in our hands. That's all we are. You know. And once we get done doing what we're doing, I'm gonna go back home. Y'all brothers gonna go back home. That's it. We ain't doing that.
Right. Earlier, waiting for the two elders, us three brothers, we were over there, right?
Yeah.
And this brother went off for a second, his name Karab, and this guy, like we were standing like together, like maybe side by side almost, and then this guy comes with like glasses on, right? The full earpiece in, and he just walks past us like this.
Yeah, directly to us.
Like that.
Then he
That's
kind of,
what he did.
yeah, then he diverts off.
And then when he got down the path a bit, he turned back and was like, right.
Thank you.
Something like that.
You know,
He's an agent.
He was an agent.
He was an agent. The way he was dressed, everything, the glasses, the earpiece.
And you know what could be? By him walking close.
Like when he walked off, he was like, thank you. And he just kept walking.
Because the Asian provocateurs are around for the protesters.
Yeah.
There's 2 helicopters, one for checking this, what was happening there. The other one's doing the other one's doing something else. What they're doing. Huh?
I mean, that's the spirit, because we were talking about it, and then like 10 minutes later, the guy just came.
Not even 10 minutes.
Yeah,
5 minutes after.
5 minutes after, yeah.
Trust me, they're watching
And I think
everything.
they can hear what we're talking about.
Yeah, they got things that can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, these people are crazy, man. The devices, man, that these people got. But yeah, man, we're living in a time of all these things taking place, bro. These are signs, man, that Esau's kind of going crazy. It wasn't like this like a couple of years ago, man. But now all these things are happening, things going crazy. Esau's just breaking out, man.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's almost like he's losing power, kind of, man. It's like he's losing a grip. So he's kind of just breaking out. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
He started complaining, he went away.
Verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
Famine, what do you
Plague.
Plagues, famine and plagues.
And tribulation.
Famines, man, because you had the issue with like the locusts in like East Africa, is it Pakistan, Afghanistan, random East African countries, man, Kenya, Uganda. Alright, them locusts came.
Pakistan.
Yeah, right. Them locusts came, and they were saying like it was on a scale like none other before, man. You know what I'm saying? And they were just going through all the crops, rinsing out all the crops, eating off all the crops, all the all the grub that the farmers have been growing, and it was like a big problem. Okay, and they said it would cause starvation. Everything that the farmers had worked for, the locusts came and just ate it all up, and they were breeding like crazy. Okay, because they breed like in the wet, in the rain. They multiply. Okay, but that goes into the plagues that the Most High brought when we was about to leave Egypt, man. Showing you that is a sign, man. That's a plague. The Most High brought that same plague, man, that he brought all the millenniums ago, man. Because this America is modern day Egypt. You have to understand that. It says that in Revelations 11. Spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt, man.
Can I just say one thing too? Because the thing with those locusts, when those locusts come through, as they do, what they do is they eat all of your your vegetation, your food, and all your crops. So the next thing you know, you have no food left.
Yeah.
And that's what upsets an economy, is when they come in and they just pretty much jam everything that you got in your yard.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Your food.
They decimated everything. You even saw the clips. It was like a sandstorm, man. It looked like a sandstorm, but it was actually the locusts, man. That's how bad it was going.
This is 2 Ezra 15 and 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before,
You hear that?
and will destroy all the land thereof.